What a beautiful time to be alive. The best time to be alive, I will submit to you, an idea submit to you. I am Ambassador Dr. MV Alige. I will be taking you on leadership series every week. Sometimes you have my message, you have my training sessions 3 times in a week, sometimes 4 times in a week. It depends on how busy I am. I want to encourage you that you should always listen to it, because if you consistently listen to them, they are going to literally transform your life. You will never remain the same. You will discover that all you have not been able to achieve in the last 1 decade, you will be able to achieve it in this year 2024. I want to encourage you, listen to it regularly, and you will never remain the same. The people around you will never remain the same also. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Welcome to my new episode on leadership series. I am Ambassador Dr. MV Alige. In today's leadership series, we are talking about something that is very, very, very important, significant, cardinal, that you wouldn't want to miss. Today, I'm talking on the word influence. I'm going to spell out that word in the acronym. Vertically, write the word influence. I'm going to talk on it today. Influence is very, very important in leadership. The word influence starts with the letter I. I stand for interactions. I'm going to use I for 2 things actually. The first one is interaction. The second one is intimacy. Let me start with the first one, which is interaction. If you are a father, if you are a mother, if you are a CEO, if you are an executive director, if you are a managing director, if you are a provost, if you are a rector, if you are a vice chancellor, if you are a principal, if you are a headmaster, headmistress, if you are a president of a fellowship, if you are a youth leader, if you are a president of a nation, a national body of an organization, if you are a parasocial health, if you are a head of an agency, if you are a prime minister, just leadership title of any kind, you are occupying a position. Don't forget that it is not enough to have a position, to have a title, to have an appellation describing your responsibility. What you do, who you are in terms of character, and what you do in terms of how you discharge your responsibility matters a lot. It is not enough for you to discharge your responsibility. How you relate with the people around you, within the circle of influence around you, matters very, very well. So, in your organizations, you need to interact with people. You need to engage people. You need to talk to people. Imagine you being a leader of an organization. You have people who are your staff. You got to talk to them. You got to ask them questions. How are you? How is your family? How are you doing? When you ask a junior staff, a subordinate staff, that question, how are you? How are you doing in your place? How are you doing at home? How are you doing in your organizations? How are you doing in this organization? When you meet people that are asking that question, it goes a long way in helping them. It goes a long way in assisting them, in aiding them, in even empowering them. So you will want to interact with people. I want to ask you, how much of interaction do you do as a leader with the people around you? Whether you're a CEO, whether you're a father, you're a mother, when you go out as a father, when you come back, you interact with people. You're a president of a fellowship, do you interact with others? Are you a lone ranger who does everything just on his own or her own, as the case may be? You've got to internalize and imbibe interacting with people, or the word interactions in the letter of influence for leaders. You cannot interact with people too much, because it is in the process of interacting with them you will get to know a number of things. I want to move to the word intimacy. The word intimacy goes beyond interaction or interacting with people. God himself reaches out to mankind and talks to mankind and wants to solve mankind's problems, just as he has been solving mankind's problem. Now, let me let you know this. The word intimacy from the Latin word means intimia, which actually means to impress or to make familiar. And that Latin word for impress or to make familiar means intimus, which means inmost or intimacy. So intimacy means intimacy. That means you seize that person opens up to you, just like a husband and a wife, just like between you and God. We all know that we cannot hide anything from God. God knows all things, he sees all things, and there is in all places at all times. He's omnipresent, he's omnipotent, he's omniscient, he can see, he sees everything. And so you open up to your partner, husband and wife, and children to parent to children, and in and organizations also. There is an extent to which you are supposed to get into intimacy with certain set of leaders. We are not talking about the general people at the lowest rung of the ladder, but the higher you go, and then the more information you should have or give to people. Now, we are going to the word, the next letter after I, which stands for interactions or intimacy, which is N rather, which is networking, if you prefer, that you network with people. Having to use the analogy of human body. The analogy of human body we have different parts of the body. We've got our head, we've got our ears, a pair of ears, we've got a pair of eyes, we've got our knees, we've got our teeth, a set of teeth, we've got our hands, we've got our legs. And those are the visible ones, the one you can see, the one that are physical, the one that you can actually see with your eyes. But what about the internal ones, such as our heart, our liver, talk about our other part of the internal part of human being? All these are always interacting, all these are always networking, all these are always relating with one another, with no one claiming superiority over the other, with no one feeling inferior. The leg will not feel inferior to the head will not feel inferior to the arm, the hand will not feel inferior to the ear will not feel inferior to the eyes, and the eyes will not feel inferior to the mouth, and so on and so forth. So it is in this life, the fact that you are the overall leader does not mean that you are indescribably or infinitely better than others. It is just a privilege for you to be the president of a nation, president of a platform. It's a privilege for you to be a prime minister. It's a privilege for you to be a father. It's a privilege for you to be a mother. It's a privilege for you to be a managing director. It's a privilege for you to be a CEO. It's a privilege for you to be a director. It's a privilege for you to be a religious leader. It's a privilege for you to be a traditional leader, And so you wouldn't want to run down people. You don't want to treat people as if they are less than human beings or they are non-living things. You don't want to treat them like that. So you network with them. Think about the analogy of different professions. We've got accountant, we've got lawyer, we've got teacher, lecturer, we've got architects, and we've got doctors and other people in other professions. Can any of the professionals say in their own profession they don't need others? No, that can never happen. We all need one another in all the different professions that exist, and you will see that it is indispensable that we network with others. To what extent do you network with others in your organization as a leader? To what extent do you depend on others? To what extent do others depend on you? Do you network with others so that you can get better results? And then we leave the letter N, and now we go to F, influence, and that talk about friendliness. This is very, very important. We cannot overemphasize this. We cannot overstress this. It is sine qua non, important, indispensable, and you would want to hear very well about this. And so when we talk about friendliness, it shows that you make yourself a friendly person, and you want to be of help to people. You want to solve people's problem. You want to ensure that you reach out to people and then you help them. And that's why it has been beautifully said that I think it was actually on the forum said, and I quote, my best friend brings out the best in me, and of course, you understand, my best friend brings out the best in me. Francis Bacon also said, and I quote, a good friend, or friendship have sorrow and doubles joy. Who is your friend? Do you double people's joy? Those who are your friends. Do you have their sorrows? That's what happens. You understand? I remember reading one of the books of this legendary global generational thinker, leader, writer, John C. Maxwell, who submitted in that there was a war between American soldiers and one other nation at a particular time, not consistently and not finally too. I think the American soldiers, one of them, few of them were killed, and so the general then commanded or ordered, instructed them that they should temporarily retreat before they will be fired and when their opponents. Now you know what happened? When he gave that order, when that general gave that order, one of the members of that general's army troops defied the general's order. You know what he did? He went ahead to look for his friend, and when he saw his friend had a gunshot, and then he was there dying. And then when he talked to a friend looked at him and said, I knew he will come. That was the last statement. That was the last statement that his friend said before he died. At least he saw his friend dying. He saw his friend dying. He would rather defy the order, the instruction, the edict of the army in order to see his friend. A friend is always there for others. Husband, you're a friend to your wife, the best friend. Wife, you're a friend to your husband, the best friend. And then, just like I told you in one of my leadership series, I listened to a man of God who said, or who said that all his friends call him their best friend. That they refer to him as your best friend. Each of them say, he's my best friend, he's my best friend. All the friends that he said he had. Now, this is very, very important. And you want to take it very, very, very seriously. And the next letter is L, which is love. I'm going to spell out love in this acronym using the word L-O-V-E. L stands for lifter. Anybody you come across, you lift him, you lift her up, you lift that person up. As a leader, that is part of your responsibility. Are you a community leader? Are you a religious leader? As a religious leader, do your messages lift up people when they come? Do your messages lift up people out of their sin? Lift up people from their sins into the arm of Christ? As a CEO, your words, do they lift up people out of their problem? Some people have conditioned themselves and programmed themselves that they cannot make it in life. As a leader, when you speak to them, what happens? Letter O in the word love. Others oriented. Others oriented. Actually, good speakers are other oriented. They don't always want to refer to themselves when they are talking. They want to talk in terms of others. And V, value harder. If you are not adding value to the life of anybody, you are not a leader then. You are not influencing anybody. You are adding value to the lives of people. And it stands for empower. Your words empower people. It empowers people. Your words, everything you say, everything you do, the way you relate with people. And then we have letter U in the word influence. I stand for interactions and intimacy. N stand for networking. F stand for friendliness. Okay? And then we have A, influence. We have L stand for love, and then U, understanding. You need to understand the basic human nature. Everybody likes to be appreciated. Everybody likes to be valued. Everybody likes to be praised. Everybody likes to be honored. That's why the Bible says in honor to marry one another. You wouldn't like to run down anybody. Don't see the people around you as non-entity. Don't see the people around you as if they can never amount to anything in life. Don't treat them as if they are less than human beings. Don't treat them as if they can never amount to anything in life. See them as people who can appreciate. Actually, as a leader, you need to know that your greatest asset happens to be people, because they can appreciate more than any other thing that you have. And then I go to the letter E, which is engaging. You need to be engaging. When you talk to people, you've got to listen to them. I remember also reading one of the leadership many years ago. I read about a story of W.E. Gladstone and Benjamin Disraeli. Both of them were former prime ministers from the UK. You know what happened? A reporter interviewed both of them at different times. But after coming out from the interviews, after interviewing W.E. Gladstone and after interviewing Benjamin Disraeli at different times, remember both of them were prime minister at different times. And this reporter had this to say. He said that, when I was with one of them, I felt it was the most sound and most special person on earth, and I felt stupid. But when I was with the other one, I felt I was the most special person on earth. There are leaders who make other things that they don't amount to anything. They can never amount to anything. They don't mean anything. Their words don't matter. Their contribution don't matter. And whatever they say don't matter. Their people can never amount to anything. Are good in life. But the other one, the other prime ministers, you understand, he made that reporter feel highly special by the way he was answering the question that the reporter was posing to him. You understand? So, as a leader, it is your duty to make people feel special, make them feel comfortable. It's not everybody who is an outgoing person, outspoken person. It's not everybody who's an extrovert. So some people, when they come to you, they may be fidgeting, they may be afraid, they may not be expressive, they may not be able to talk very well. It is your responsibility as a leader to calm them down, make them feel comfortable, let them talk. It could be woman, could be a man, could be. So you want to consider your leadership influence in the light of this word that I have explained. Let's look at the next letter, which is nourishing. Do you nourish the people around you? As ministers, as a senior, by your words, by your action, by what you say, by what you teach them, by what you tell them as a nation, as a president of a nation, prime minister of a nation, as a senator, as a senate president, as a provost, as a vice chancellors, as a principals, headmaster, headmistress, president of a fellowship, the way you talk to people, do you nourish them? Do you encourage them? Do you fulfill your promise? Or you just want to lie so that they will temporarily feel comfortable? And when you get away with those lies, has that become your consistent character, your trademarks? Let me say, has that become your trademarks? Has that become your second nature? Has that become your consistent companion? That they know that you lie. Nobody can trust you. When you say good morning, they are thinking it's night or time already. When you say good night, they are thinking it's daytime already. They can no longer trust you. It shouldn't be. And then we see the word communication. Communication is very, very important. Authorities in communication have submitted that there are over 250,000 ways of communicating without verbalizing. You can communicate with your eyes, you can communicate with your legs, you can communicate with your hands, you can communicate with different parts of the body. And when you're talking also, I want to challenge you, even if you are there as a leader, when somebody is talking to you, don't only listen to what is being said, listen to what is not being said. That's part of communication as well. Listen to what is being said and listen to what is not being said. We have direct communication, we have indirect communication, we have suppositional statement, we have implied statement, we have statements that are actually very clear, lucid, and they're not open to argument, not open to several interpretation. They are not ambiguous, and then they are direct. But at times, if you communicate in a way people cannot understand very well, it's going to generate various interpretations which will not be good. As a leader of an organization, as a leader of a family, as a religious leader, as an institutional leader, as a community leader, as a national leader, as a local leader, whichever area you are privileged to be leading, you want to ask yourself how you communicate with people. When you communicate with people, understand, do they respect what you say? Do they appreciate you? And you cannot communicate without connecting. When you are communicating, you are looking at the faces of the people, whether they are actually getting what you're saying, whether you understand what you're saying. You will want to factor that into your communication process and your influence process also. And then we go to the last letter, which is E, and it's equipping. It is your responsibility as a leader to equip others, equipping in terms of resources, tools, schools, and all of the books. You recommend books for them, you school them, you give them tools to be able to succeed in life. And as you do that, you will discover that people naturally gravitate towards you. They want to come to you. They want to see you as a helper. They want to see you as a honest person. They want to see you as somebody who is dependent upon. They want to see you as somebody who is a lifter of others, who can be of help to them, who can strengthen them, an energizer, a booster, you understand, an empowerer, an equiper, somebody who can answer their questions. You will be there for them when you do that. And I want to challenge you that you should listen to this again. Ensure you internalize and invite every letter of this word influence. If you do that, your leadership style will never become outdated. And you will discover that in your leadership, people will appreciate you. Your organization will change. It will tremendously change. Your family will change. Your children will begin to move near you. They are free to come to you. Your wife will like you. Your husband will like you. The people around you will like you because you are not seeing them as inanimate objects. When you talk to them, you know they have emotion and they have feelings. Your word can hurt them or help them, as the case may be. Thank you very much for listening to me on this leadership series. I look forward to seeing you another time. Or you listening to me. Thank you very much once again. God bless you. I want to thank you very much for listening to me. I appreciate every second you spent in listening to me. I want to tell you that time you spend listening to me is time invested, and you will never remain the same. I encourage you to share this with others. You subscribe to it, and as you consistently listen to it, keep on listening to it, you will never remain the same. Thank you very much.